Hi, I am Kevin Quigley, and welcome to Tarot Off the Cuff. I picked up my first tarot deck in 1982 when I was 12 years old. I spent the summer giving readings to my friends and kind of freaking them out, and then I misplaced it. Maybe 15 years later, I picked up another tarot deck, and I've been reading professionally pretty much since then. I'm a composer, I'm an artist, I'm a teacher, and I sort of combine all of those kinds of elements together. Tarot reading for me is about building up a conversation. So a conversation not just between myself and my client, but between our higher selves, so that we might bring down some information that might help make us a little bit more conscious and maybe even our lives a little bit better. Hello everyone, thanks for joining. My name is Kevin Quigley and this is Tarot Off the Cuff. Today I bought the Light Seers Tarot with me. This is by artist Chris Ann. I believe she's a Canadian, although I'm not actually sure. I've just acquainted myself with this deck. It is the newest deck in my collection. I do not buy decks very often anymore. It's been maybe as many as 10 years since I've got a new deck. But this one I saw online on the Facebook group Tarot Nerds, which I love. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a deck that's right in the middle of something that I could read with. So I picked it up and brought it to a fair. And one of the things I sometimes do at fairs is have, say 3 decks out on the table, usually in a little silk, each of them will be in a silk or a velvet bag, and I'll ask whoever's sitting down if they'd like to pick which of the decks, just intuitively. And they chose this one. One of the people chose this one. So I've done so far. I've had the deck for maybe a month, and I've only read with it maybe 4 times. But boy, it reads so well for me, and I love it. So here's the box right here, and I'll put a link down below in case you're interested in checking it out. It's great. It's got modern sensibilities and contemporary people. So I'm getting the cards all mixed up here. I would do a riffle shuffle normally, but that's noisy on camera, so I'm just doing a split hand, an over by over, sending it through. Okay, take a minute, pull a card. All of these images are new to me, so each time I see them, it's going to take me a second to take a look at it. And I pulled Major Arcana Judgment, number 20. So this card is about breakthrough. It's about those moments that the word I love to use in association with this card is grok. I think it comes from Robert A. Heinlein's Stranger in a Strange Land. Oh boy, I hope I'm not misattributing the author or the name of the book, but I'm 90% sure I'm right on that. And I'm 80% sure that the word grok does come from that, where this being from another planet, I guess, is coming to check out the earth and learn, and he uses the word grok, G-R-O-K, to describe really coming to understand, to be able to metabolize a new idea or a new concept, right? So the judgment card for me is about breaking through to get to that new place. So I make some of my living as a tarot reader. I also make a lot of my living as a musician, and some of it as an artist, and a lot of it as a teacher. And I actually kind of consider myself a teacher when I'm doing any of those other things. And as a tarot reader, I love teaching tarot, and I love reading tarot to help bring people to that point of, oh, I get it. I finally get it, right? I love that in a classroom. You might have 20 students out there and you're working on a particular concept or idea, and there'll be a moment when you see just one of them, right? Their eyes light up and they grasp it. They really, really get it. So that's one of the things I love about reading tarot for people, at least within the way that I read. I don't necessarily do predictive readings. I like to work with people so that they're focusing on where they are right now. Let's get the clearest, sharpest picture of where they are right now, so that when they move forward, they're making choices based off of truth. They're making choices based off of who they want to be and the kind of world that they want to live in and how they want to walk through it. That's the way I like to read. There are lots of other ways to read. I respect them all. Well, maybe not all, but you know what I mean, most of them. and But I like to do really practical work that way, right? So the breakthrough moments are a big deal. A couple of bits, though. I've learned both as a teacher and as a tarot reader and as an artist when people come to see performance or whatever, as a musician or a maker of theater or dance, which is stuff that I work with a lot, is that the best you can do is to sow a ground of fertile tilled soil so that a seed might take root and sprout and then start to grow. But you can't just shoot for the growth, right? You actually have to, you got to go lower than that. You have to go under the radar to a degree so that you allow the person to step into a space of growth that is theirs, not yours, right? That's really important, that you don't try to push anybody over any cliffs, or even worse, maybe project your own ideas of the way the world needs to be into them. Secondarily, so, okay, and then what do we do when those moments happen, when you see someone kaboom, right? So a lot of people think of that as tower moments, and it's true that they can be sometimes somewhat traumatic. But the tower moments for me feel like they're an external force coming in, so the world sort of shakes them up. Something happens, and you, right? You get sort of shocked out of your understanding of the situation, which is kind of a breakthrough, yes, or a breakdown, maybe. But the judgment card comes internally. It comes from within who you are, of an, oh, it's that moment, as opposed to the moment of the tower. So these are moments to recognize reverence. They're moments to slow down in your reading. So often as tarot readers, especially when I watch other tarot readers or do a reading exchange, quite often, and I notice this in myself too, that we're so used to talking, we're so used to the yang mode of output, 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 that we don't necessarily train ourselves to slow down and wait, to let the person we're talking with, the person we're counseling, absorb something, especially if it's important, right? Now, as a teacher, this, and in fact, as I think of it, this is maybe something that I learned through teaching more than just reading tarot. Everybody's brain operates at a different level and in a different way, right? So if I'm teaching a group class, it could be a tarot class, it could be an art class, it could be music, whatever. People come to that from different angles and different perspectives. They come to that with different pace. Some people grasp particular ideas really quickly and they get it and they want to move on to the next thing. But we also have to have patience for the individual students that are involved, maybe even in the same activity at the same time, to move at their pace, to pick something up in the way that's going to be useful for them. So the judgment card for me is it's that moment where you allow someone, I realize I have the card up as well so you can see it, but you allow someone to release themselves into their own sense of knowing. And a pause like that lets them savor it, lets them roll it over. Oftentimes, I might repeat a sentence that way, so I'll bring it down to that slow pace, and I'll say it again, usually with exactly the same connotation, same tone of voice, same rhythm, their own sense of knowing. And then another pause. That's going to help cement that into their memory, so that when they get up and step away, that song, the song you sang, their own sense of knowing will sing itself in their subconscious and sometimes even in their conscious mind for days. And these are some of the ways that we are able to help people absorb the messages that we've been put into the place where we are, having been chosen by them to hire us to do a reading for them, right? There's a contract involved in that, and it's kind of important, right? It's also useful, another one, while I'm talking about helping people sort of remember and cement things into who they are. I'm going to say two things, actually. Hopefully I can remember them both as I go. One of them is ask for their reflection if they have one. Like, do you have, how does that feel to you? That's a good one. I use that one fairly frequently. I'll say, how does that feel to you? Does it strike you as true? Is there a way that you would adjust it or change it? I often do readings where, not often, I always do readings where I tell people, you do not have to share personal information with me if you'd like to keep something close to the chest. And if that's true, go ahead and do that. That's okay. You never have to answer a question at all. And sometimes maybe even just a yes or a no is enough, right? And then, but I also say, if you'd like to give me more information, you can do that. And nothing leaves the reading. I don't talk about my readings with anyone else. So if you want to share, you can share, right? But that idea of like, does that feel true? Does it sing? Does it sound? Is it sound, right? That's one. And then the second is, how can you use that? Is it clear? Is this a clear tool? Is this did the way I said it or felt driven to speak, did the words I choose offer themselves to you as an actual tool, as a piece of advice that works for you? Not just does it make sense? That's important, but can we, and if we need to, can we even adjust the statement to make it as real, as concrete and useful as we possibly can? That is the key for me to making a useful reading, so that when I'm wrapping up a reading, if we had one of those moments, and we do not always have those moments, right? In fact, I would even say they're relatively rare when someone comes and they have an understanding of a big cosmic law, or let's say one of the lessons they're trying to learn as a soul journey this time around. Those happen. They don't happen in every reading by any means, but right. But if they do, I want to make sure that I roll that back around as I'm summing everything up in the end of the reading, to help them come to terms with remembering and also honoring and valuing, feeling some gratitude for. Maybe even I'll even say it that way, and I have, as I think of it. Let's express just a little moment of gratitude, or a little token of gratitude for the fact that the world, you're going to get up from this table and you're going to step out into a completely new world, a totally new space, and that is a beautiful thing. So I'm Kevin Quigley. We just read with the Light Seer's Tarot for Tarot Off the Cuff. Thank you. Hey, this is Kevin.
Hi, this is Nooch.
Thanks for watching.
If you like what you saw, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe. You'll know when new ones are coming. And share with your friends.
We'll see you soon.